All right, James, the 1st of December. How the hell has that happened? Where did that year go? Um, we've got some content to share with you today. We've got some checking in. It's a Q&A session for you today. We want to really get a feel for what you'd like from us. We have an offering for you moving further forwards that you will get free access to. There is, of course, the support of each other, and this WhatsApp group will remain open as well. We're going to do a bit of mindfulness in just a moment, but we're going to check in. Tim's looking very festive.
Hmm.
I am. Do you know? And I chose it deliberately for that
Ah.
reason. So thank you for noticing.
How are you doing, Tim?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, and I kind of sort of feel sad in a way and happy, sad. Yeah, but meeting up with us all and seeing it's funny, isn't it, how you build a relationship over time and how things move and change and yeah. So, but all in all, pretty good. Yes.
Great, thank you, Tim. I'm gonna go. We're just gonna check in and see how people are doing, and then we'll do the mindfulness bit. So next in my carousel of thrivers is Daniel. How are you doing, Daniel? How is sunny Dublin?
I'm doing good. I'm fine. I need to deliver something today for an announcement tomorrow, so I'm a bit shaky on that.
Okay.
So I'm a bit pressured. I've been working for 3 weeks, as I haven't been working for 3 weeks in the last 10 years, maybe. So it has been really, really interesting to be this stressed and go through cross the bridge. So it's really it has been learning a good learning process. And so I think I'll be fine.
Thank you. Does the once you deliver the thing you're delivering today, does that stop the stress? Does that wind down?
It will wind down. I still will have things to do, and I think I need to do a lot of catch up because I haven't had that much things to do in a lot of time.
Mm.
Some people moved within the area, so I ended up with doing the job of three persons at the same time, which has been challenging. But I wouldn't associate the fact that it's been stressful in a negative way specifically. I think it's been stressful because it's been demanding and you need to deliver things on time. But beyond that, it felt lively, like it felt like I've been doing things that I like to do. So it's been good. It's not a stress that it's like killing me and like I had a chance to have a nice weekend with the family. Yesterday we went to see Wicked. Saturday we want also to do some things.
Nice.
So it's not stress that's killing me. So I wouldn't associate that the word stress specifically to a bad connotation. I would like to say that maybe I have realized that I was going through a lot of work and a lot of things to do, and I was taking a lot longer hours. I took it sometimes at past 10:30, 11 p.m. Uh, but I knew it was temporary. And maybe one of the other learnings of this process is that everything is temporary. So I knew that this work I needed to do, it was going to last some weeks, and then everything will stop. I'll still have to do some things. And most likely in 2 weeks' time for the Christmas, everyone will go home. A lot of people here are from other places, so a lot of people go back home. So the last 2 weeks of December, everything is going to be like really, really quiet. And most likely in January, everyone will remember we have to do a lot of things and it will go up again. So it's a lot of spikes, but everything is temporary. And I think you need to hold on sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, great awareness. And remembering that life is impermanent, nothing sticks, is really helpful. Thank you, Daniel. Next on my carousel, I've got Ben.
Uh, well, similarly to Daniel, actually, I'm sort of going through a stressful period with work and I'm reminding myself it's all temporary. So I've got a big deadline. I've got to meet at the end of the year. And when I walk the dogs, I try and work out how many days I've got to do certain things. And I'm probably not going to meet it. So it's yeah, I'm having to work most evenings and weekends. I wasn't working this weekend actually. I did take 2 days off, but in a way I probably shouldn't have done because I am a bit behind. So there's quite a bit of pressure. But if I do miss the deadline at the end of the year, people aren't going to be up to speed the first week of January, and the client's really laid back, so I think it'll be okay. But yeah, there's a bit of pressure, so I've not really had much time to do any self-care, just a little bit. I mean, I do walk the dogs, and that helps, but yeah, there's not been enough time to just meditate. I haven't meditated for quite a while. So I have had a few sort of physical flare-ups as well, but I know that that's stress related and it will, as Daniel says, everything's temporary and it will ease down. January will be easier for me. So I'm just kind of looking forward to that really.
Thank you very much as well, Ben. The people's ability to zoom out is really interesting, and that's a great skill. So thank you very much again. We're going to come back to both of you in today's session. Thank you, Ben. Last but by no means least, Pierre.
Yeah, hello, everybody. And yeah, for me, it's a little bit of a different. Meaning that um, at least work related, is not a period of particular stress. Quite the opposite. It's unexpectedly a little bit of a low phase in terms of stress and press and deadlines and things. And in this unexpected period of calm, actually, I had quite a significant flare up. So in the last probably couple of weeks, the symptoms has raised again after months of being very low. And now again, I have issues being seated and some, I'm not sure if it's pain, but certainly this significant discomfort. And then associated to that is also like having difficulties at sleeping at night, waking up in the middle of the night, and then being tired during the day. So the entire thing somehow decided to show up, again, at least from what I can see, without any particular reasons and stress-related reason, at least. So yes, I'm a little bit puzzled, and I'm using whatever I've learned so far to try to manage it and keep it calm. But certainly there's a certain level of frustration and also, really being puzzled of why now. So yeah.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you for letting us in as well and sharing. We've got the time today. It is your time, so we can choose to go through questions. We can choose to reflect on these cycles. We can reflect on impermanence. We can reflect on whatever it is that you feel will be beneficial for the three of you today in the session. So thank you very much for sharing. We're going to do a mindfulness practice I think will lend itself quite nicely to this. I've got two things we're going to do. The first one we'll do standing. The second one we can sit or stand, whichever's most comfortable for you, or stay where you are. One will use our feet, one will use our hands. So if you're not already, I'm going to ask you to stand up. And once we've done the mindfulness practices, then I know Tim's been making some notes there, so maybe we can explore some of those notes as well. All right, so you don't need loads of space, but just like have a little bit of space around you. We're going to start this with our eyes open. So I'm going to place my feet about, if I put a fist in between my feet, it would be touching my feet. All right, so they're about a fist width wide. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we're going to go round in circles. And we're going to start fairly small. So I'm now on the outside edge of my left foot, my left toes, my right toes, outside edge of my right foot, right heel, outside edge of left. And we're just going to take these circles a little bit bigger. And what we're going to find is that I want you to find the edge of wobbliness. All right, I want you to find the edge of like you losing balance a little bit. And what we're aiming for here is for them to be a little bit out of control. Okay. So I've been going clockwise. I'm now going to change my direction and go in the opposite way. And again, I'm really pushing that edge of what is balanced and trying not to stack it too much. But that's what we're looking to achieve here is that wobbliness. Okay, last round. Whoop. And then we can stay standing. Actually, yeah, let's stay. Let's see. Let's stay standing. I'm going to show you my hands now. All right, so thumbs up on one side, pointing towards the finger. So I've got my left thumb up and my right finger being pointed. I'm now going to swap. My thumb goes up, my left finger points. And we're going to swap between them. Yeah, and then it's okay to get it wrong. Like there is no right here, but we are winding up different neurons and connecting left brain to right brain with a little bit of fun. And you're going to find you've got fingers up and thumbs up. Yeah. Oh, hello. And now if you can move to a pace that is that thumb is down. Brilliant. Love it. That's great, Daniel. That's exactly what we want. Is like, oh, fuck it. Okay, you can come and take some. Thank you for entertaining me.
I gotta acknowledge that I'm in an open office, so
Are you okay?
near the canteen, so everybody.
I didn't know that. I do
It's a
apologize.
bit intimidating.
Well, thank you for doing that. So two things: wobbliness, and can I always have that control? Is that always going to work out? Is it smoother on one side? Is it slightly more jilted on the other side?
It's really quite difficult. I was putting both my thumbs up at the same time.
That's exactly what we want.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I find that my right thumb stays up, and I end up doing this with my right finger, and I can't remember to get the thumb down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something you can go away and practice, and it will frustrate the rear end off of you, and then you'll get it, and it will move away again, and it's a skill. It is a skill. Tim, you've been making some notes.
Yeah. Got lots of notes already and things that we could talk about. Just figuring, where we want to go with stuff. But yeah, I've been just jotting down because there's some really interesting. I mean, first of all, is it wrong to say I expect it now? But I know you well enough that hearing your reflections are not a surprise for me, and it's good to hear. Being able to sort of take that big picture view as well is I think Carl said it at the time, is a skill. It's being able to sort of, yeah. I think we probably said this when we used it ages ago, but symptoms to begin with, that like you can't. It's like you can't see anything else, can you? And being able to just hold something further away from you is a skill. It doesn't make it any less, but it just means that you have a view of other things as well in your life, in your world, and so yeah, I think that's a real skill. So I've got like prompts that I've written down, and I wonder whether these might be helpful just for people. Is balance. I'm thinking about balance in life, and versus challenge. And I know we've talked about this before, and then you've just been doing a lovely exercise with that as well. So yeah, I think there's that in order for us as human beings to thrive, we need to have, the right mix of balance and challenge. So that was one thing, and I've sort of written the word stress next to it, which to me is what everybody's ideal, whatever that balance is different at different times, and yeah, and it's so that's yeah, one thing in my head. I've been thinking about time. Time. We spend a lot of our time in the past or the future, don't we? And that ability to be present is a present, isn't it? So yeah, I was thinking about time and that and whether maybe that's something that we can talk about, but it feels like as a group we are more present. So yeah, and having the ability to be there, honor it is amazing as well. And then I've written, and I wonder about perfectionism, but frustration. Pierre, I've been thinking about the same sort of thing as well in myself, and just recognizing times when I expect something to happen because I've put a lot of energy into it, and it's frustrating and annoying and what have you. But what was I expecting? And I think that's it, isn't it? If I can let go, I'm thinking about myself and this weekend and what have you. But if I can let go of that expectation to be perfect and allow it, whatever it will be, and that's the curiosity sort of piece, isn't it? That we've talked about a lot. Being able to be in have we used the phrase beginner's mind as well? I can't remember, but it's something that I come back to a little bit. Yeah, something that I come back to. I think it resonates for me, that idea of curiosity and beginner's mind is if you can sort of turn up each time with that sense of a beginner's mind, is that we don't know what it will be. It will be what it will be, but yeah, but can we be curious and interested and sometimes excited and disappointed and yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the K Sarai Sarai, exactly. Uh, so easier said than done as well, though, isn't it? So exercises in themselves. So yeah, that's what I've written down here. What have we got? Balance and challenge and stress, time, the temporal dynamics of existence. We could go really deep there, couldn't we? And the presence and the presence of presence and then the idea of perfectionism.
Yeah, great for reflections. I've just listened to, if you haven't come across this, Alan Watts is a brilliant philosopher from the 50s and 60s, English guy that lived in America. There's a very short audio book that he's got. I'll put it up here. It's called The Wisdom of Insecurity. And it's kind of sandwiched between bits about God, although he's not referring to necessarily the Christian God, but it's sandwiched between bits about religion, and then in the middle is it's all about suffering, and there's a lot in there about pain. Um, and I think he uses pain as a metaphor for suffering and suffering as a metaphor for pain. But that central bit in the book, as I was listening to that over the weekend, I was like, oh my God, that's gold, that's gold. And I wanted to write it all down, and I thought I can't do that because I don't have enough time, and my list would be huge. But in terms of surfing some uncertainty, that's a great book to listen to. I will link it up here in a moment. So I agree with Tim. There are some great themes that are coming up from our side, but it would be nice to hear from what you would need from us today as well, moving further forward. So you can type in the chat box, you can put your hand up, you can ask us a question directly. We know each other well enough now. We don't need airs and graces. So yeah, if someone would like to kick things off with a question or a comment or a reflection, then please do so.
I think the biggest thing for me is the surfing uncertainty, because there's so much of it in my life and has been for the last couple of years, that I'm sometimes I look back to when I started on the recovery program and think not much has changed physically, but then I do remind myself that mentally, I think I have changed quite a lot the way I react to discomfort and pain. I think that has changed. I think that's improved. But it's not. This is not a question as such. It's just a reflection on something I would like to explore more of. Is the surfing uncertainty. You know, there are times when I just don't have the time to do exercises, the things that I know help. So yeah, it can be problematic at times. But yeah, sorry, that wasn't a question. It was just something I'd like to explore more of, the surfing uncertainty bit.
Thank you, Ben. And let's bring in Pierre and Daniel. Is that something that you recognize as well within yourselves? What Ben is saying, is that something you've seen within yourself?
I I think I think it's a difficult one, but I think sometimes things don't get you at the beginning. You know, like for example, the bottled water analogy. I've heard it on the Recover program, then I heard it on the Thrive program, and it was something that didn't resonate with me. I think it resonated lately, you know, and as I've been going through this stressful part, I started to understand better the water bottle analogy. And maybe to the first thing Ben said, for example, is like, in my case, and that worked for me, I realized that something I needed to do was I needed to create some space. So I know that when I stop working, I need to use an hour for me before going to bed and try to disconnect out of what was happening to me and try to do some personal thing, whatever that is, you know. Sometimes it's doom scrolling, sometimes it's watching. I don't watch a lot of Netflix series, but I've been watching House of Guinness because of the relationship to Dublin. And what I try to do, a non-negotiable, I sometimes miss it if I'm very, very tired, is my 10-minute meditation before I go to sleep. And I do that, you know, like, and for me, going back to Tim's point, for me, that's an important part of trying to be present, because we're constantly worried. Like, of course, we're working for something in the future, you know, like Ben is worried for people not to be up to speed on January. So he's working for something that will happen in the future. And that sometimes doesn't, we forget that we're in the present. So my meditation at night, it might not be the best meditation. I'm not going to be a contemplative monk, but it's something that helps me feel grounded and remember that in the present, I'm fine. You know, I'm at my house. I'm at my bed. I'm fine. My kids are at bed. My wife is asleep. Like, everything is fine. You know, my world is fine at that moment. So I don't really need to worry. And that helps me drive into ease. And it's been amazing, because I was telling you, I've been stressed, but even though I've been stressed, I haven't felt like lagged, you know, I haven't felt like coming to work like I sleep relatively well. I come, I do my things. I have been very productive. I felt I have been very productive. I will need some third party to intervene there. And yes, and I was hearing Pierre, and I also relate to Pierre a lot, you know, because you're trying to put in all this work. You're trying to sometimes do the work. You sometimes cannot do the stretches and all that stuff. But you're putting a lot of energy on trying to be good. And sometimes out of the blue, you have a flare up, or you're uncomfortable, or you're like, and it's like, and then you were like 2-3 weeks really, really good, and suddenly out of the blue, it's like, and you're like, fuck, you know, and you don't have an explanation. And of course, you always want an explanation, because I think it's a tendency of us here trying to have control of the things. So sometimes it's just about trying to really, really ground in the fact that we find a way to go through all the pain, through all the suffering. We found a way to find a meaning through all out of it. And I think we found a way to learn out of it. So I think that puts us in a better space. And I think this capacity of trying to see the book here is a skill that we have that we have worked to get there. It was not given. And I think that has been an amazing process. The problem is it's a process you need to build up. It's a process you need to continue building. And such as the fingers, so I'm better. Okay. It's sometimes you won't get it. But if you try to be intentional, you might be able to get it again.
That's great. Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to give Pierre some space as well before we come back and say anything. If you've got something to add or something to comment or reflect on as well, Pierre, or ask.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, definitely I can relate to what Daniel was saying, and yeah, but I mean, I feel like it's honest to kind of acknowledge and also express my frustration. So I do believe, I've been yeah, it's a learning journey. And I think I've been learning, I've been changing. There are certainly elements, I mean, that has changed. So the capacity, for example, of kind of putting a balance between pressure, work, and time for myself, I think has been significantly increased. My capacity for self-compassion and taking care of myself, I believe, has significantly increased. But still, these things are popping out. So yeah. So I think it's also important to just really acknowledge the part of me that is really frustrated by all of that. Again, because there's a part of me that goes, okay, what I need to do, I need to become a saint in order to get rid of all this stuff. So what's there? And yeah, and then the other thing, again, it's more of a question mark if you want, but there's something. So I don't remember. Maybe it was Ben. I think that, or I don't remember. So somebody put on the chat this book about root cause, and then I think the team was asking, okay, what do you think about the root cause? Is there a root cause? And there's something that's still kind of in my mind. Again, I haven't read the book at all, but my point is there just a cause? Is there, because again in my case, I mean, probably I'm not really able to find exactly the specific cause. I mean, or at least when it popped up, was particularly stressful and particularly under very difficult situation in that sense. But again, yeah, I'm not sure at this point that I would be able to identify this causality, right? Cause and effect. It's probably not really there. So I don't know how to interpret this idea of a root cause, or So I was curious to hear your thoughts around that.
Thank you, Pierre. It's a question that comes up when we're not doing great as well, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Very, very, it becomes very enticing. Had we had this conversation before your flare up, I'm confident that question wouldn't be dangling so weightily as it is at the moment. And it's a great question. Tim, any reflections from what we've been hearing so far before I pipe in?
Oh, so much. Yeah. But I'm thinking, like, and it's an expression we often hear, isn't it? I don't have the time, and I've written here, the only thing we have for certain is the present moment. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, don't we, to complete tasks, and this is a journey that I'm and have been, Carl, have been going through for a few years now, is being able to be more present and to be, to not rush away what you do have, which is now, is the here and the now. So that was one thing about having enough time or not having, and the person that springs into my mind is my dad, actually. He said, I never have enough time, but but you just that this is all you have is right now is this is the time. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure we can put on ourselves thinking that as well. Um, the other thing I was thinking about trust in ourself. And I suppose, Pierre, I'm sort of thinking about, and perhaps there's like different, we haven't talked about parts and internal systems, have we, so much in this course? But there are different ways of us exploring this where we essentially sort of separate parts of us ourselves out. And, there will be the frustrated self and the excited self and the, loving self and the what have you. And one way of working with that is to go, oh, it's the frustrated self coming out. Oh, of course he's going to pop up now because things are looking like that. But I've also got the trusting self, which is I'm trusting what I'm doing, and and I'm confident that I'm doing the right thing, and being able to sort of see that as elements of part of you can be helpful in these moments. And actually, and I think perhaps this is maybe it's going to be generational, but I feel like this is quite a male thing often as well, is that we haven't been able to be in touch with those parts as well. We've not been allowed, maybe even, certainly not been encouraged to be able to notice that I might have this emotional part of me or reasoning part of me, or so yeah, so that was another thing I was thinking about, a trust. And then the last thing, Pierre, and yeah, I'm really glad that that's what you picked up with the book, because it wasn't my intention to criticize anything, but is to go, oh, that's interesting that this person thinks there's or certainly within the title. I don't know what he would say face to face, but the title suggests that there is this definitive cause, and and that is such a prevalent thing, isn't it, for us certainly to begin with, is to go, I want to find out exactly what it is that's causing my pain. And the longer symptoms persist, the more difficult that is, the more challenging that is, because there could be so many different things to the point when we don't know what it is. It just is. And then what I've written down in my notes, my scrawlings, is there's science and there's the best of the science, but then there's you, and you aren't the science. You are you. So what we see in science, and actually we're sort of seeing this play out at the moment, is we often have population-based studies where we're saying we're going to take the data from an average of all these people. But who is the average? Because it was lots of different individuals with different presentations that we then averaged out to create this one person who's the one person with pelvic pain or whatever. And it's lost the sort of beauty, the individuality of what about the you. And yeah, and the you-ness, or I mean, the other way of thinking about it, maybe, I mean, depends how you sort of view the word. It's the spirituality of it is a sense of who you are and what makes up you, and we don't have that in the science. And but then we've been living in an age where we're so programmed in a way to prioritize, like to weight scientific evidence over everything else, even over how I feel in me. That it's a very difficult. It's like it's a difficult tug of war, really, isn't it? Of going, and I can and I do. And Carl, we've had these conversations. We have these conversations weekly of going, it's the analytical brain going, but what if, or could it be this, or and being able to sit with uncertainty is probably the most challenging thing with persistent symptoms, is to be okay to not know. Sorry, that's my musings from this yeah.
To be okay with that not knowing, overarching all that is a level of we have to have trust then, don't we, really, to be able to go, I don't know why I'm flaring up at the moment. It's really shit.
And
Maybe I,
blame comes in again, doesn't it? We talked about blame a lot because when we go, oh God, what have I done, or what's going on, or you know, and I trust you, Pierre, as well, that I trust you are doing what you need to do for you. Yet there is still a period where there is a flare up, and that may be, and what we see when we follow people for long enough. So I have a few people that I followed over many years, is that we are simply, we do fluctuate, you know, things do change and flux, and there is change, um but we know that implicitly, don't we? We know that we're not the same person we were 5 years ago and 10 years ago, and but it's very difficult in those moments when you are in a flare that you're going, and it will pass, and I know I was doing brilliant before, and it will get, it's more likely to go back there because I've been, and I'm trusting what I'm doing, than it is to stay here.
yeah, a former patient of mine said, like, it feels like turning a cargo ship around in the time it can take to get back on track again. Even if we are investing the meditations, Ben, or the mindfulness, or the not sitting, or or eating well, we don't. Wouldn't it be lovely to go, right? I've done my one thing, I've banked that. Now, now, come on. Why haven't I got the immediate result? It's fair, and particularly when things feel against us, it's very easy to fall into that. Um, I've got one patient messaging me at the moment, desperate for a session this week because he went to London to see Wicked. And I know in the build up to going down to London with his family, he was putting pressure on himself to make it the best family trip for Christmas that I can possibly have it. His last family trip to Manchester ended up with a bit of a flare up, and so all of a sudden those eggshells feel even more precarious. And we can fall into a space where we're not trusting the situation, we're not trusting that process again. So I just want to say you've done nothing wrong, Pierre. It might feel like we've done something wrong, or we haven't done the right things, or we haven't been able to get our meditation in there, Ben, and we haven't been able to create that space and the time. Daniel said something about non-negotiable, and I like that. I do like that a lot. Non-negotiables might be putting clothes on, probably quite like following etiquette in the current climate that we live in, or maybe brushing our teeth. Non-negotiables might be fueling ourselves, watering ourselves, washing ourselves. There are some things in there that are non-negotiable. Um, Giving ourselves a bit of decompression, whatever that might be a weekend off and going, actually, I'm going to down tools this weekend and I'm going to do what I can do for myself. It might be getting to
Gonna
bed.
root in my own shit for a weekend.
Marinade in that, absolutely. It's as you were all doing exceptionally well. And when Tim said at the beginning, like there's no surprise to find where you are right now and what's going on, um, that it doesn't surprise me that there things are up and down. That is the condition. It would be so much nicer if things just followed a linear path, wouldn't it? And it can really feel uncertain at times. So we're going to come back to you again. I'd like to give you a little bit more time to unpack and explore some things. What do you think's going on? What do you think is the root cause, Pierre?
Uh, um, well, um, I don't know. Frankly, I don't know. I mean, certainly, I mean, I do see the only correlation that I see is normally that there is yeah, sometimes I reach a level of stress and in general, what I call fighting with reality, fighting with whatever is around me, and I'm not happy with being, something in the family, something at work. and then this creates my, if I reach that level, then um, sometimes it's also might be. So what I'm thinking, for example, is again, since I had more time, I actually even kind of pushed more the pedal to the metal on the. I need to take care of myself, and I'm meditating, I'm eating well, I'm going out for a walk, I'm going to the gym, and blah 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 blah. Blah. So that the risk that I have on my side is also the kind of the taking care of yourself becomes a chore, or becomes it's not always not enough. There's always something else that I should be doing. So that's another piece that I somehow see. Um, yeah, and hmm.
And I just butt in something that Pierre said earlier was about, um, that, Pierre, you've had a kind of fairly relaxed time, but you're still getting your flare up. And I find that that's the most frustrating thing, that you just can't see a pattern to anything. I get dermatological flare ups, and I think, I don't feel especially stressed. I don't know why has this happened, and it all seems to be, you try and work out a pattern to it, and you just can't seem to find one, and that's always been the case for me. I've got wider chronic pain as well, which I've had for 30 years, and I've never been able to work out a pattern to it, why it started, why I've still got it. And I think it does get to a point where you just think, maybe you don't need to know why. Maybe that isn't significant.
Go on, push that a little bit further for me, Ben.
Well, with my wider pain, I've had lower back sort of hip problems for 30 years, and I initially thought it was because I'd fallen when I was hill walking once. I fell in a stream. I was crossing a stream on some stepping stones, fell onto my back. I was laid up for a week, and then a year passed, and it improved, and it was fine. And then I went to the gym, and from that point onwards, I felt like something was snapping. From that point onwards, I've just had chronic pain. And years later, I had an MRI, and they said I've got um, slip discs, herniated discs, and I thought, well, that's the reason. Then that's the reason. And then the next time I had an MRI, those discs had kind of gone down to nothing, but I'd still got the pain. And so you kind of want to hold on to reasons, but sometimes there isn't one. That's neuroplastic pain, I guess, isn't it? It's the brain creating it as a sort of an alarm signal. Um, it's very frustrating. I do still find it very frustrating to deal with, but it's become it's part of my daily life now. I'm used to living with discomfort, so there's no point in constantly reflecting, why is this happening? Why is this happening? You just have to focus on the present, as you've said.
I'm going to nudge it a little bit more. What happened? You're doing great. You're doing great. And please tell me to back off if you're feeling under the spotlight. But this is also open to everyone. What happens if we ask that question over and over again about why is it happening? Where does that lead us? And again, this is to everyone here.
Yeah, and I think where it leads me personally is that I'm constantly ruminating. So I take the dogs out for a walk, and it's meant to be a nice, relaxed time in nature, but I spend the time ruminating, kind of problem solving. Not often to do with my pain, but to do with situations with my mum or whatever. And it's churning around and round and round, and you never reach a conclusion. You never reach a point where you feel at peace with it. It just goes round and round and round. So there is no benefit from doing it, really. Um, do you want to push any more?
No, 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 that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you for walking with me there a little bit as well. That's great. It is really, really great, isn't it? That we can have that awareness. We can see now you can have that awareness. Before we're lost in that process and we're ruminating without the awareness of, oh, I'm doing this. Now you can become aware of that, and it may not easily be I can just snap out and, oh, look at the wonderful trees and the smells and the sounds and my crunching of the feet on the grass or the gravel or wherever that might be. But you've got some disparity there now. You've got a chance like Tim with his notepad right at the beginning to go, oh yeah, oh yeah,
I think it's something I've learned through the Thrive program is that sort of catching yourself, the initial signs of what you're doing. And I think Tim had talked before about, you could get a dry mouth, and that kind of is an instant sign I must go and hydrate myself. For me, I'll catch myself ruminating when I'm out walking, and I'll sort of flick a switch and start listening to that thing of listening to three sounds, different sounds, and that helps. It does break the cycle. I've got to practice it a lot more, but at least I'm doing it now, which I wasn't doing it before. I wasn't doing that before.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And now you're cultivating that. There's an opportunity there, isn't there? Because there's opportunity, it doesn't mean that we always do it. It doesn't mean that we're always doing it, but you're doing it more than you have been. So things are tipping. They're absolutely tipping. Yeah, despite this, what I am able to do. So there is this, and whether that's a current flare up, whether that's things bubbling up and down, dermatological response, work, there is this. But look at all the other space I have here. Can I be this and something else? Sometimes it will do this a little bit, and sometimes it will back away. And if we can cultivate and we can be more I can't the wisdom of insecurity is just banging away in my head about all the things that he discusses in that book. It's brilliant. It's so enlightening. It's a great, great book. Um, like I said, that central sandwich is really important.
What was that book? Sorry, called Wisdom of Insecurity.
Yeah. I will let me just I think I found a free version on YouTube. So I will put that. It might play some music or something now, so apologize if we get any sound. I can turn that off. Um, I will put it in the WhatsApp group. So I haven't listened to this version. I've only listened to the the audible book, but that is now in the WhatsApp group. Um, I I don't think that we will have a stable and universal root cause of this for every single person. I'd imagine that most people's destinations look pretty much the same, but because our starting point is unique and individual, and we have 40 years worth of conditioning behind us, it can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes to shake that. Not impossible, and we can learn to be a different way. We can have that awareness and to change and adapt. But the allure of asking that question over and over again, why, what is this? And it's the whats and the whys that will kill us and keep us. I mean, they won't literally kill you, please. That's not that. But they will keep us round and round and round. They will keep us ruminating and caught in that loop. We know you're doing nice things for yourselves. We know that because you're telling us that. We know that that's part of your routine. Some of them are non-negotiable. Some of them slip and slide and fall in and fall out. But that cultivating of that right space and that right mindset, the awareness there. Daniel's been sending some great things, and he's even put something on the WhatsApp group as well. Um, there's some gold in what you're saying there, Daniel. The awareness of a water bottle. It's taken a while, but sometimes things land at different times, and it's not perfect. But I'm really proud of where you guys are, and although it may not feel like much has changed. So much has changed. It really, really genuinely has. What you're telling me, what you're telling us is, and what you're demonstrating to us, and the right questions you're asking is clear and obvious proof that you're not that person that started Recover, 6 months of Thrive and 6 months of Recover ago, with the time in between. We've got about 10-ish minutes, little bit under. What can we offer you? What do you need from us? We're going to give you access to something called Circle, which is another community. We've built something, we're building it, and we have built a platform in it, but we're building this community that's not social media, that's not Facebook. So you will get free access to all of that. Okay, you'll be given access to that to watch more content from us. Yeah, you can't get rid of us, I'm afraid. We have the WhatsApp group that will remain in place as well. And this is not a goodbye. It really, really isn't. I'm just humbled that you guys have asked to have us in your lives for a little bit longer, and we've been able to walk some of that journey with you as well, through the highs and through the inevitable lows of what that is as well. But yeah, is there anything that you need from us? We don't do cures. I'm really sorry.
I think for me, going forward, I mean, I'm always interested in pain management techniques. So, I mean, that's something probably at some point I'd want to talk to Tim directly about, actually. But I'm not sure really about generally what I would like going forward. Yeah, pain management is important for me.
Yeah, thank you.
I see a trend across a lot of the WhatsApp groups I have. For whatever reason they are, personal, professional, whatever, but I see people are not participating as much as they used to do, especially in the pandemic times where everyone rushed. So I see less participation, and I think that it's positive because people are trying to interact personally, which is better. But trying to find the best of everything, I think they're still really helpful. So I think for me, it's important to know that we're there, even we're not using the group as much as we did when we had the group in Recover. I think it's important for us to hear. I think this is a condition that sometimes can feel very lonely because, and I think Tim was saying this, we didn't grow expressing our feelings as men, and I was hearing my wife saying that, oh, I really admire this lady because she's a single working mom and she's struggling in the world and she's handling everything by her own. And I was feeling maybe like Pierre is feeling now, and I was like, okay, it's nice that you feel great for her, but who feels great for me that I'm trying to hold on this family while feeling like this, But everyone is expecting that from us, and I know there's a lot of empowerment for women, all that stuff, but there's also I think there's not a lot of acknowledgement for this fragile state that men can have, that we haven't let in the history of time. So I think for me, I think we need to we need to maintain this communication, and we need to, hey guys, I'm not feeling the best I have, just to express it. Maybe we'll just give it a like, maybe just holding on, because I think it's great that Carl is telling us that we're not that we're in a better space than we were before, and that he's proud of what we achieved. But I think it's also really important that someone, and between us, we remind us that we need to give ourselves a pat in the back, and we need to acknowledge how much we've gone through, and where we are now. And for me, maybe that is something that we can sometimes hate. Don't forget where you were, and don't forget what you've done, and try to be nicer to yourself. I think one of the best things I've learned from here is, how would you talk to a friend? Would you be talking to your friend how you are talking to yourself? Most likely the answer will be no. So try to talk to you like you were talking to a friend, and maybe you'll have compassion and much better words of encouragement there.
Sorry, I'm just typing something to reiterate that. How proud of us can we be? How proud of ourselves can we be? Because it doesn't come easy, does it? Fuck me, is that really, really difficult to go, yeah, well done you. Well done me. Well done me. It's really not. It really isn't, but great points. Great points, Daniel. Yeah, I'll send this over in a moment. I want to give Pierre a chance to say anything, but very, very wise words. Can we talk to ourselves like we would do our friend or our own children? Um, we can be unseen, can't we? We can not be seen from the people that see us all the day or all the time and recognize actually what we're striving and what we're doing and what we are achieving as well. Pierre.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I also believe that the chat, the WhatsApp chat, is has been very useful, and I think it would be great to somehow remain, even if more lightly, connected through the chat and support each other and share, and knowing that if I have something to say, I have to send to hell my pain in this moment. I can just throw something in the chat and get support of the others. So that's certainly helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, you aren't alone. You are not alone. And yeah, we are here for you, and this group will remain open as well. Tim.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, I feel like I'm there with you. Yeah, having a bit of support is just so fundamental, isn't it? So yeah, we are here. We're not going away. We're super happy to be part of your journeys and like Carl said, honored as well. It is a privilege. It's quite an amazing thing. As a group, we've dipped into a bit of philosophy, haven't we? We've been quite philosophical at times, but it is quite an amazing thing, isn't it? Seeing someone's journey and being part of it as well, and sort of the deeper inner parts of what you're experiencing as well that aren't necessarily on view for others. So yeah, being able to have something that allows that is quite incredible. So yeah, thanks for turning up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you as well, and continue to be as well. And yeah, like Carl said, we aren't going away. Although I did hear what you said is we're setting up this group, so you can't get away from us. There's a lot of pressure there, isn't there? But I think what we are keen to do is we are keen to feel that people have somewhere to go, that they have support, that there is a network, and that it's there when they need as well. But equally, we've talked about being able to reach out and offer it for others when you see that they need it. So yeah, we are stronger together as a collective.
I don't like this bit now. Because at some point we're going to have to press that leave button on the end meeting, and this isn't the end. I'm not going to break into song. You would not like that, and that would not be a nice way to finish today's call for anyone. But gentlemen, thank you very much for those of you who've shown up on the call today, and for those of you that are listening to the recording. I look forward to seeing you again. I look forward to hearing from you again, hearing how you're doing, hearing your wins and your successes and the support for one another as well. So look, my hand is here. I am rubbing this with great tenderness for you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, happy holidays. Do try and enjoy the festive break in whatever which way you can as well. Right now, in this moment, just go. All right.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Take care, fellas. See you.